everybody, it's Fern. Thank you so much for joining me for another Plenty video. Today we are doing a Q&A repot with me, which is one of my favorite videos to do because I love to just chat with y'all. It feels much more interactive than some of my other videos, so I feel like it's our video where we get to kind of catch up with each other. So thank you so much to everybody who submitted a question. I am doing these videos every 3 months and I post in my community tab on my channel whenever I'm taking questions, so keep your eye out for that if you want to submit a question for next time. I will also link down below my playlist for all of the Q&As I've done in the past. I do get a lot of repeated questions, so if I've answered a question before, you can look through some of my other Q&As if you're interested in just watching them. I feel like they're great videos to just play in the background while you're doing plant chores or regular chores or anything really. I love just having someone yammering in my ear while I'm doing things around my house. Anyways, I feel like I've picked out a pretty good mix of plants for us to repot today as well. We have some big ones, some small ones, all different types, which is very fun. I don't know if we're gonna get to all of them, but we're gonna do our best. I'm gonna be fueled by matcha for this video, which brings me to today's sponsor. I love drinking matcha so much, especially in the afternoons, just for a little boost without a crash. Like it's not too much. It's just very uplifting and it just feels very fresh and rejuvenating. And my favorite matcha to drink is Peak's Sun Goddess matcha. I'm such a big fan of it. As I've mentioned before, I've really been trying to limit my coffee intake, especially in the afternoons. So matcha has been the perfect solution to keep me feeling energized throughout the day. The reason that I love Peak's matcha so much is that it's really high quality. It's actually shaded for longer, which increases the antioxidants and the chlorophyll in it. That's what makes it so great for your skin. Peak's matcha contains caffeine, but it also contains something called L-theanine, which is a calming ingredient. So this is what makes it so that you can get a boost in energy without the feeling of jitters or the feeling of crashing afterwards. Peak's matcha is also quadruple screened for purity. It's organic and ceremonial grade, so it's something that I just feel really good about drinking, and it has this delicious, creamy, umami flavor. It's honestly, every time I drink it, I'm just like, oh my goodness, yes, I love it so much. It's also so easy to make and to travel with since it comes in the pre-measured sachets. They dissolve in hot or cold water. You can see I love to go for an iced matcha latte, especially now that we're going into the warmer season. I'm always looking forward to matcha hour, okay? If you would like to try out Peak's matcha for yourself, for a limited time, they're offering up to 15% off, plus a free rechargeable frother and a free cup if you shop my link down below in the description. Thank you so much to Peak for partnering with me on today's video. Okay, y'all, so I have all of the questions in front of me. Again, there were so many, so we'll see what I get to, but feel free to ask your question again in the next one if you want me to answer it, or just if you want me to just like respond back to you, you can ask it in the comments down below. But I think I'm just gonna grab plants and start going because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get through all of these. I mean, I think I will, but they're just gonna be a surprise, every one that I grab, except for the ones that you can see in the screen. Those aren't so much of a surprise. Anyways, the first question that we have is, actually I had a few questions about my garden. Any content on gardening upcoming this spring? Yeah, there's just different questions kind of in general of how my garden is going, what my plans are, etc. And regarding the content, I've said this before, so I'm just gonna keep it kind of brief, but I'm not gonna be posting gardening content on this channel. If I do post little snippets, it's gonna be on my vlog channel, just because I really want this channel to just be devoted to houseplants. I just feel like that's the best thing for my channel, so. And also, I don't want to feel like I'm monetizing all of my hobbies. That really takes the joy out of things sometimes. So I think that gardening is something that I don't want to have the pressure of filming. Of course, I will include like some updates and some snippets, but I'm not gonna be doing like full videos or anything like that. So I'm sorry, but I just kind of want to enjoy that, especially as I'm just like learning and getting into it. And you know, I am so just intimidated by outdoor gardening that I would not feel confident in sharing anything. Like I'm like kind of nervous to share because I don't know, the internet scares me. So, cause I'm definitely gonna be doing things wrong, right? That's what happens. Things like that are just trial and error. And yeah, so I'll share some things, but there's not gonna be like outdoor gardening videos on this channel or anything like that. But if you are interested in things like, not to self-promote here, but if you do want to subscribe to my vlog channel, I share all different aspects of my life. I talk about books a lot. It's like very book heavy actually if you're into books. I do, you know, I show some of my cooking, I give little life updates, I talk about my outdoor garden plans, stuff like that. So if you are interested in more just like behind the scenes and kind of like cozier, you know, relaxing B-roll kind of vibes, then go subscribe to my vlog channel. But yeah, that's what I have to say about the garden. But I guess I can give like a little, oh my gosh, I'm not even doing the repotting, I'm literally just talking. And I'm sorry, I can't help myself. I'm not used to having like hair. Okay, we're gonna try to do something as we go here. First plant I'm going to be repotting is my strawberry begonia. And you guys, we actually repotted this not even that long ago. Like not even that long ago, maybe in December, and it's already just it's drying out way too fast, so it needs an up pot. I can see the roots, it needs to be done. I can't keep up with it, so I'm gonna put it into, it's just in a little baby one right now, this tiny 3-inch pot. So I'm gonna be upsizing it to, I think this guy, this is probably a 4-inch, so a little bit bigger. It is this slotted one though, which I don't like these pots, but beggars can't be choosers in these times. I'm really running low on pots. They're expensive and I am just burning through them. So we have to be resourceful and use what we have. Anyways, where I am with the garden right now is I'm basically trying to like clean it up. I had to take out a bunch of the old raised beds because they were all broken, and I'm trying to tame my berry bushes, like doing a lot of pruning and cutting those back. We put in the posts for deer fence because that's just something that I'm gonna need to have because there's so many deer and just like other critters around here. So that's in the works, and yeah, just trying to get everything set up. I've got a bunch of seeds that I've started as well, which some of them have been a fail, but some of them are doing okay. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, and it's been enjoyable, but it's been very stressful, I'm not gonna lie, just because I feel like I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Also, somebody asked, is owning your first home everything you hoped it would be? Do you see yourself getting a greenhouse for your backyard or basement? Love your cozy content, by the way. I could watch hours of it daily. Thank you so much. Is owning a home everything I hoped it would be? I'm gonna say yes. It is. I absolutely love the freedom of just being able to do, just wait, I need my potting mix, oh my gosh. I was really getting ahead of myself here, wasn't I? I do have my mollies on the table, but this one I don't want to use mollies. So yeah, I love the freedom of just being able to do whatever I want, like, you know, screw things into the walls. I can just like change things like that. Like I love not having to worry about a landlord breathing down my neck. Like I can have as many plants as I want. That was something I was always anxious about. Like I was always just anxious my landlords were gonna come in and be like, you have way too many plants, blah, 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 because that's happened to some people that I know, and it just like really stressed me. So I love that. I love having a yard and, you know, just, yeah, there's just freedom, a sense of freedom. Like I can do what I want, which is just so, so nice. And I'm so grateful for that. But obviously owning a home also comes with its own set of stressors, which, you know, it's fine. Like I knew that obviously. And it's just, yeah, but there's definitely things that I took for granted as a renter. All of these responsibilities and just the like sheer volume of things that you need to maintain and keep up with and replace and have, you know, updates done, and just it's very expensive and it can be very stressful and also just like very overwhelming. And yeah, I kind of feel like I have a massive never-ending to-do list, but overall, yes, it is everything that I hoped for. I'm very happy and I'm very grateful, and the house is everything that I hoped it would be. Like we've essentially had zero problems, which is so nice. I'm saying the house specifically because the neighborhood leaves something to be desired, but I'm not going to dwell on the negative. So overall, I'm super grateful, and yeah, it's grand. I'm really trying to work on my mindset and my gratitude lately, so we're just trying to focus on the positives of everything because life can just be overwhelming in general, but it's fine. Oh yeah, they also asked about a greenhouse. I would honestly love to put a greenhouse in the backyard, not for houseplants, just for like vegetable gardening and flowers and stuff. The thing is, I just, well, I don't know. First of all, I couldn't afford one, even if I wanted to put one in there. But I also just, I don't know, it would have to be one that I'd be able to take apart because I don't know how long we're gonna be here. That's not to say that we are planning on moving anytime soon, or, you know, like we're gonna be here for years for certain, because there's just no way we would be able to move even if we wanted to. But like, I don't know if we're gonna be here long term. Do you know what I mean? So I would want it to be something that I was able to take apart and move if I needed to. But I would love to do that one day if I was able to make that happen. I think that that would be so cool. I have also thought, my gosh, we're not making very much progress here, are we? I have also thought about putting a grow tent, or like even just one of those mini like zippy kind of greenhouses, you know, like the clear ones. I've thought of putting something like that downstairs, because I don't really like the look of all of my like seedlings and propagations and stuff up on my shelves up here. It just doesn't look that nice. So I've thought of getting something to put downstairs. It's just that I don't spend very much time downstairs. It's technically a crawl space, and it's kind of creepy and spidery, and yeah, I don't know, but I would consider that one day. I've also had a few questions of people asking if I would ever start my own plant shop. And I don't know if these questions are coming in because Plants by Melissa just recently launched her shop, which huge congratulations to her. I think that that's so amazing, and it's just so cool to see her doing so well, because she's someone that I look up to. Just like her work ethic is amazing. I can tell that she's such a hardworking person and just really like truly is passionate about plants. So it's really refreshing to see someone like that, and I'm so glad that she's doing well. So I think that that's an amazing step for her, and it totally makes sense for her. But for me, no. I don't know what makes anyone think that I could ever do that, but like I can hardly keep my plants alive and well, let alone like grow plants to sell to people. I also just don't think that would be like packing orders and all the behind the scenes. Like I can only imagine how much work goes into that, and I just like truly don't think that would be for me. I love creating content. Like that's truly just my bread and butter. I love the creative aspect. I love being able to connect with y'all. Doing YouTube is truly my dream job. So although perhaps I should be thinking about other ways to like other directions to go, I don't know. I'm so happy with what I'm doing right now. I probably should be more business minded, but I'm really not. Like I'm just happy doing what I'm doing. And yeah, I also just don't have the space for that. Like I'm in a very small house, y'all. I don't even have an extra, like we only have 2 bedrooms, and one of them my boyfriend uses. So I basically just have this living space for my plants, which I mean, it's, you know, obviously I'm very thankful to have the living space that I do to keep my plants, but there's just no way I would be able to house any extra plants. Like I don't know, I guess if I was really passionate about it, I'd be able to make it happen, but I just, no, I would be very overwhelmed, and I don't think I would like the business side of it. And I also just feel like the plant market is very saturated already, and I don't feel like there's any gap that I could fill. Like there's so many plant shops, and so many have closed down as well. Obviously people who already have a following online are probably going to do well, but yeah, no, it wouldn't be for me. Although I freaking love plant shops, so I'm glad it's for other people, because yeah, we all know I love a good plant haul. Oh my gosh, why do I always do this? I make the front the side with the sticker. What the heck? Fernalissa. Why do you do this? Okay, well, I'm gonna have to find a cover pot for her oh, it's coming off. Oh, thank God. Oh my gosh, the satisfaction of a sticker coming off clean. No way. Wow. Okay. So she has so many babies now. Like, look at all of these coming down. It's just crazy. They're all tangled now. Oh my goodness. Well, that's fine. Look at her though, such a cutie. I mean, she's a little thirsty, so I'm gonna go pop her in the sink right now. But yeah, I really do love this plant. I can't believe I got her for like $2 at the grocery store. Like, that's so cool. All right, so the next plant we're gonna do, I actually grabbed this little, actually wait, I have to kind of do this in a strategic way because I'm reusing some of these pots here. No, I've gotta do, oh shoot, am I short a pot? Okay, I'm actually gonna have to go with a yogurt container for my beautiful Hoya fitchii. I haven't even had this for very long, but it's just growing like a weed, and some of its leaves are coming in a little warped because it's just drying out so much in this tiny pot, so it needs to have a bit of an upgrade. I'll just find a cover pot for this, so it'll be fine. My Hoya linearis is also potted into a yogurt container, and she's been living her best life in there, so I'm not too worried. I'm just gonna take the clips off here. So the next question is, oh my gosh, yeah, some of my Hoyas are getting cute little sun stressing. Whoop. Do you see those sunstressed leaves? They're so pretty. Okay, so the next question is, I'd love to hear some updates on your crochet journey. Sending love, your videos are my special treat for the week. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, I don't really have much of an update, which really, it frustrates me because, I mean, it doesn't frustrate me because it's my own fault. I just haven't made time for it. But since spring has been approaching, I've just been busy with other things. Like I said, the garden and everything, and just like other things that we've had going on in the home and stuff like that. I mean, that's really like, I'm just making excuses for myself when the real answer is that I just haven't made it a priority. I guess it felt like more of a cozy winter thing too. And once we started coming into spring, I don't know, I don't want to say lost interest, but lost inspiration or motivation maybe. So I really haven't done any crocheting. Like yeah, which sucks because I'm gonna have to probably like start over from scratch basically and teach myself again, which I'm sure I'll catch on quickly again. But yeah, I do need to get back into that. Thank you for bringing that to the forefront of my mind, and I'm sorry I don't have a more exciting update than that. A couple of my things that I was working on in the wintertime, I just like dropped, like my paint by numbers. I'm still in the middle of painting that. I've barely made any progress. I did build my Lego sunflowers though, so that was one of my like cozy hobby things I was wanting to get done, and I did that, which was very fun. But yeah, I just haven't made time for stuff like that, like crafty stuff like that very much. So I need to do that again because it really is just like so relaxing and so fulfilling. The next question is, how do you balance sharing a lot about your personal life and still maintaining mental health, relationships, and time for yourself? Or does it even help with staying on track with healthy habits? Okay, I think I get what they're saying. So when it comes to like sharing a lot of my personal life online and stuff, I feel like I used to share a lot more, and then I kind of learned my lesson. Learned the lesson of not sharing some things online. So that's why I don't, for example, share my relationship online anymore. I got a comment on one of my last weekly vlogs of somebody saying like, oh, is your boyfriend in the FBI? Like, we never see him. And I'm like, no, I purposely don't show him. Just because I've just chosen to keep my relationship offline now and keep my partner offline and stuff. So that was a big change that I made, and I don't know, I just feel better about that. And honestly, like the people that I watch, I don't really care about their boyfriends or their partners, to be honest. So things like that, where I just kind of have boundaries, I guess, with how much I share and what I share, really helps. And the second part of your question, asking if it can help staying on track with healthy habits, I honestly think that it does sometimes. A lot of the times my videos keep me accountable and keep me motivated. Even filming my weekly vlogs, like, I don't know, it just helps me stay in routine, I guess, and just encourages me to kind of be the best version of myself. I mean, not always, because if you watch my vlog channel, or if you've been watching this channel for a while, then you know I definitely have my struggles, and I'm very open with sharing those online. But like when I have videos to film and stuff, like I like to keep my house tidy, and I like to share things like the meals I'm cooking. So I want to be like, you know, keeping up with cooking, and it does keep me motivated and holds me accountable to a degree, if that makes sense. Like honestly, sometimes when I do a weekly vlog, it can pull me out of a funk. Or when I'm like filming my plant tour videos, you know, it gets me motivated to do my plant care. Or when I do my monthly reset videos on here for my plant stuff, which I haven't done in a couple months, I know. I think there's gonna be one coming at the end of this month. But stuff like that really does help to keep me on top of things and help to keep me motivated. So it's really nice how it works like that sometimes. The next question is, what is behind your house? I've seen a few videos, some kind of marsh. Is it all like that? Or can you go on walks in the woody area? I'm just curious because I love having nature like that around my land and less neighbors. Yes, so I was actually cracking up because in one of my last videos on here, somebody commented, oh, I didn't know that you lived like on a river. And it cracks me up because it's literally just like a swamp. I call it the swamp. I guess it's more of like a marshy area. But basically I live in a valley and it gets very wet. So in the winter, it all fills up with water and it's nice because there's like ducks and stuff and it's great. As long as our house doesn't flood one year, it's gonna be great. But during the summer, it dries up and it's just like a kind of like grassy land. I mean, I'm sure it's still like moist and wet, but it is kind of nice having that behind our house because, well, obviously it's just nice to have more nature, but that means that we're not facing someone else. Our backyard is not facing directly into someone else's backyard or someone else's house, you know what I mean? And that was a really big draw for me. We do of course have neighbors on the side, like I can see into people's backyards from where I'm sitting right now, but there's a lot of space behind us where it's just kind of that swampy, marshy land. That is probably not going to be developed just because it is so wet. So that is nice. And yes, that is what's behind us. It is not a river. I wish it was a river, but if that was a river, we definitely wouldn't have been able to afford this house. Getting this gal filled up right here. Oh yeah, I forgot I put vermiculite in this mix. That's fun. I don't use vermiculite very often. What do you do for false mites? Is that another name for flat mites? What I do for mites, flat mites or spider mites, I use the Safer's End-All Miticide. I have used sulfur to treat flat mites, but I did not like using it. It's very stinky and it stains your plants and it's just, I just did not like it. It works, but it was a no from me. And the second part of their question is, how did you start getting into the content creation aspect of the plant world? So I was kind of into social media already. My channel was actually already established. I did like kind of vloggy stuff and some like beauty stuff. This is like years ago now. So my channel was already established and then I just kind of started incorporating plant videos and I found that they were doing really well. Like I think my first like dedicated plant video was a plant haul of just some plants that I picked up at a local plant shop / nursery when I was starting to like really get interested in plants. I thought it'd be fun to film that and I did, and it performed well and people really liked it. So I was like, oh, maybe I should share more about my plants. Like that's kind of fun. And that's just what I was really into at the time. So it was really enjoyable to make that content. It's still enjoyable now, but it was just like extra enjoyable because, you know, when you're first getting into a hobby and it's just like all you want to do is like talk about that hobby and be obsessed with that hobby. That's how I felt. So it was really fun to make plant videos. And this was in 2019. So houseplants were, you know, coming close to like the peak of their trendiness. So I guess a lot of people were looking up plant content and slowly my channel just morphed into just being about plants. It was already called Wild Fern too and everything. So I just kept the name and I was like, you know what, that's perfect. So yeah, but like I said, I was already into social media. Like it was already something I was really interested in. I've honestly been chronically online since like 2012. I've always just like loved YouTube and like dreamt of being a content creator. I always just thought it was like the coolest thing ever. So it honestly still blows my mind that this is what I get to do now. But yeah, so I guess my like interest in social media just organically melded with my love for plants, and here we are today. Is that the only clips I had? I guess so. I'll have to clip the other side on later. Here she is. So cute. Oh my goodness, I love this Hoya. It's so fun, and the blooms are really cute on this as well, so I'm so excited for whenever this is gonna bloom for me. Yeah, Miss Fitchii. I'm actually gonna go water her through right now. Okay, now that these two small pots are freed up, I just gave them a little wash at the sink. We are going to be potting up a couple Hoya cuttings that, well, they're rooted now, but they are my cuttings that are chilling in here with my Jose Bono. He's going to be staying in here, but I'm going to be taking out the Hoya Mathilde Silver right there. So Gorgina. And the Hoya Maniprensis, which is just beside it there, this little cutie. So I'm gonna be trying to gently take both of those out. Yeah, we'll see how this is gonna go. I'll start working on that while I answer the next question. So the next question is, what is the best fertilizer for plants propagating in water for a long period of time besides liquid earth? Have you heard of or tried We the Wild plant care supplies? No, I have not. Nor have I used liquid earth. But all I do for plants that have been propagated in water, so usually when I'm putting cuttings in water, I just drop in 1 or 2 drops of Super Thrive. But once the cuttings are established, once they already have roots and they've been in water a little bit longer term, I just start treating them like my semihydro plants. So I give them my general hydroponics fertilizer, because by that point they're gonna need, you know, all of the nutrients and everything. So yeah, I just basically treat them like a hydroponic plant, I suppose, until I pot them up. So yeah, that's all I do for that. Okay, let's try to do this gently. Somebody asked, what are you most excited about for 2024? Be it planty, personal plans, goals, home improvement, anything. So one of the things that I've definitely been looking forward to the most is the garden. I'm really hoping that that's gonna go well and it's gonna be up and running and everything. So yeah, I've never had the opportunity to do an outdoor like backyard garden before. So I did my container gardening a couple years ago, as some of you know, which was really fulfilling. So I'm excited to be doing just, you know, that on a larger scale. And also just getting more settled into our home. You know, the past year, I just feel like we've still really just been getting settled into here. So I feel like this year it's going to be more of making the place our own and just feeling a little bit more grounded here, which will be nice. Okay, I feel like I need to focus on this for a second and just try to, let's keep this stuff. I want to try to gently get this out of here. The next question is, if you could trade plant collections with anyone for a day, who would it be? And I think this question is really fun. If I could trade with anyone, the first person that popped into my head was Jenna's Plants. If you follow her on Insta or on YouTube, she does both, then you would know she has a lot of just like really unique, different plants. A lot of plants really different from what I have. Like she has tons of cool different succulents and just really like quirky, fun plants. So I feel like having her collection for a day would just be so, it would be so much fun, because a lot of the plants, like I said, are just different from what I have. And I would love to see them in person and get to experience them. So I really love her collection. Like whenever I'm watching her videos, I just, yeah, I love her channel. Honestly, you should go check it out if you haven't. So yeah, maybe her. Also Harley G has a really cool collection as well. And again, I feel like it's so different. Like whenever I watch her planty videos or her plant tours, it really is just a breath of fresh air, because her collection is so much more different than what I feel like a lot of other like plant tubers and stuff have. She has a lot of plants that I've honestly never even heard of before, but they're all like unique and interesting looking. And then she also has some terrarium plants, and yeah, just it's just different. Like I said, it's like a breath of fresh air. So her videos are really fun to watch because of that. And I feel like that's another collection that I would just be so interested to have for a day. And she has lots of cool like Sansevieria and just like things that I don't have. So those would probably be my two people that I would pick. I actually had this question a few times, and it is, would you ever expand the Wild Fern channel and get an editor, or do you enjoy the post-production parts of your channel too much to pass that along? And yeah, like I said, a few people asked this. I'm not sure if it's because y'all think my editing is bad or because you just sympathize with me because I'm busy and like I put out a lot of content, or I try to put out a lot of content. It obviously takes a lot of time to edit. Okay, we're getting somewhere here. But to answer that question, I do not plan on getting an editor, and that's for a couple of reasons. The first one is I just wouldn't be able to afford it. Like I'm just not in the place where this channel generates enough revenue for me to be able to hire staff or like hire people to do different jobs. I just like, it just has to remain a one-woman show for now. Like, my channel is still relatively small in the realm of YouTube. It feels big to me because I can't believe we've come this far, but it still is just like a small little channel. So that's the first reason that I wouldn't get an editor. And the second reason is just that I honestly don't know if I would be able to like hand that over to someone else, because I do enjoy editing, like I really do. Yes, I get sick of it sometimes when I'm on like my 4th video a week that I'm editing. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of work. Okay, we got her free, so that's good. So yeah, it would be nice to cut down on my workload, but I do really enjoy the creative process of editing. Especially when I feel like I have some extra time to put into a video and do like, you know, a relaxing intro or stuff like that. I feel like editing is very personal, and I very much want my videos to convey that organic, like I want it to convey me. I want to be able to put in little like anecdotes where I want to, and you know, like I just want it to be like, I don't know, I just want it to be like you're just like hanging out with a friend, and I just worry that I would lose some of the like organicness or some of the personalness of my channel if I were to hire out an editor. But anyways, it's not in the plans, not anytime soon, so yeah. That's my answer for that one. The next question is, what is your favorite or preferred semi-hydroponic medium? And how do you go about helping your plants transition to a new medium without the risk of shock? So my favorite medium is Pon. And I only have one plant in Leca. It's actually doing really well. I think we have a question on that later on, but I have quite a few plants now in Pon. And yeah, I just find Pon to be the most reliable. Like my plants, every plant that I put in Pon seems to like it. Knock on wood. But so yeah, that's my favorite one. And I also can do like the DIY Pon, and that's been working really well for me as well. So, oh my gosh, there's a peduncle on here, you guys. Holy smokes. There's a freaking pedunk. 2 of them actually. That's crazy. And how do I help my plants transition without the risk of shock? So I always root my plants in water first. I don't do the just like wash the soil off and put them into Pon. Maybe that would go fine, but I just don't do that because I want them to grow water roots first. That's just what I personally do. So yeah, I root them in water, like they'll live in water for like a month or so, and then I will put them into Pon. I also got a couple of questions about isolating my plants. Like when I get new plants, do I isolate them or do I just automatically integrate them into my collection? So people were saying that they notice my new plants are just like among all my other plants right away. And yeah, I don't isolate just because I don't have the room. If I had the room, I would probably do it, honestly, but I just don't. So I cross my fingers. If I get a plant from a plant seller that I'm comfortable with, I usually don't even do anything. Like I just put them on my shelf, which I'm not saying that's what you should do. I'm just saying that's what I do. Like my plants from Plant Haven Toronto and stuff, I've literally never had a pest on any plant from them. So I just pop those onto my shelf. But if I get a plant from like Home Depot or whatever garden center, then I will spray them down first. And then like I'll spray them down with like my Dr. Doom spray or something and then put them wherever. But yeah, I usually just cross my fingers because I really just don't have the space to isolate plants. If you do have the space, then that's what's recommended, obviously, but I just, yeah, I don't do it. Oh, and they also asked, do you deal with fungus gnats? And if you do, how do you get rid of them? I didn't have fungus gnats for a long time, actually, but they are just starting to pop up again now that it's warming up, I guess. I don't know. They're just out and about now. And the way that I have treated fungus gnats in the past, this is what I did last year and it worked really well, is with using mosquito dunks. So I just pop that into my watering can and water with mosquito dunk water. You can get them on Amazon or, you know, probably like Walmart or whatever. And that worked really well for me. Like as soon as I started consistently, not as soon, it does take a few weeks for it to work, but once I was consistently watering with mosquito dunk water, I did not have any more fungus gnats. It worked really well. Y'all are not gonna believe what I just did. Oh my gosh. I broke the root system off of her. Oh, I'm so sad. I hope she'll just root back up. Maybe, okay, I'm gonna actually keep this, okay, so this is what I did. I turned my camera off, my boyfriend came home, and the dogs were coming in as noisy and stuff, so I just decided to take the moss off camera, and then I broke the root system off. But I also decided to take the moss off of the Jose because it was like half off anyways. I mean, there's still some on here, but it's fine. So I'm gonna put this in potting mix now. It has such a robust root system already, it's crazy. This just like took off. I can't wait till it pops a growth point. I think it's gonna come from here. There's a bump, but I'm gonna fill this with potting mix, put him back in, and then I'll use some of this sphagnum perlite mix and put the Mana Princess back in there because, oh, that has roots, because it needs to reroot again now. Gosh, sorry buddy, I did not mean to do that. So the next question is, how do you feel about humidifiers? I fought getting one for a long time, and now I realize all my plants, even cacti, do better with it in my home. So I had a humidifier. I was pretty like religiously using one for the first couple of years that I was getting into plants. However, I stopped using one. I haven't used one in, yeah, like probably 2 years now, just because they were kind of tedious and a pain in the butt to keep up with. And it's also just like very wet where I live already. So I stopped bothering with one. And I honestly have not seen a difference in my plants. Like they grow just as well without a humidifier as they did with one. But it really just depends on your climate. Like if I lived somewhere dry, like if I lived in a desert or something, then it would be a different story. But I live in a rainforest, so it's not really necessary for our climate to have a humidifier. My humidity is naturally usually at 50% or above anyways. So, I mean, we'll see once I have air conditioning in here and stuff, how much that's gonna affect the humidity. But for the most part, humidity just isn't really a concern for me. The bigger concern for me that affects my plants is underwatering. But I find that if I'm on top of watering, then having like just ambient humidity doesn't really bother most of the plants that I grow. Okay, there's the Mana Princess gonna be in there to reroot. Poor little guy. Will you be doing more plants in semihydro? Any updates on the Gloriosum in Leca? I think that they mean the Mame. They're both crawlers, so easy mistake. But do I plan on putting more plants in semihydro? Yes. I've really been enjoying semihydro lately. I've put a few more Hoya into semihydro. They've been doing really well. It's just so much more lower maintenance. Alocasia as well. I really want to get more alocasia in semihydro. I want to try it for some of my Anthurium. I feel like that really is something that could be helpful in reducing my workload with my plants. And you know, it helps me keep up with things better, keep up with watering and everything. I also have my Monstera Aurea in semihydro, which I did months ago, and it really just didn't do anything for a long time. But you guys, she has been going crazy lately. She has 6 new leaves right now, which is insane. She's in pon in a self-watering pot. And I did that because I'm trying to resolve the browning issue that I've been having with that plant. It's like my last ditch effort, and I've also been kind of casually using the silica as a foliar feed. I've only done it a couple times, so I haven't been keeping up with it very well because I was kind of nervous about using it. So I've just done it a couple times, but so far so good. Anyways, she's doing so well, so I'll have to show you guys and give like a better update on that plant soon. But yeah, I've been loving semihydro lately, and I'll go grab the Mame to show you how well it's doing. So here she is. This is my only plant in Leca, and she's doing so well. This is full of roots. I'm not gonna pull it out because it's just tricky to do, but she's doing amazing. So many roots. There's a new leaf right there that's just starting to unfurl. This is definitely the best this plant has ever done for me because I was having so much trouble with it drying out before, and then it would get spider mites because it would get too dry. But I haven't had any spider mites, and she's just been super happy. So yeah, I love these planters. I'm definitely, if I end up potting up another crawler, I'll definitely be using these planters. I can link them down below if you're interested, but yeah, she's doing great. Okay, I'm just gonna finish potting. Actually, I've got to put a little bit more soil in there. I've been doing all of these plants in my DIY mix, which is fine. Like honestly, my DIY mix is fine. It's just not as bougie and nice as the Molly's mix. But I'm saving the Molly's for the Anthurium that I want to do, and I also have a syngonium that I want to do. Next question is, what plant would you hope to be your heirloom plant? And this is a fun question, but considering I probably won't have anyone to hand down an heirloom plant to, I haven't really thought about it before. I mean, I guess I could give it to anyone. It doesn't necessarily have to be a child, but the first plant that comes into my mind is the variegated Thanksgiving cactus, because I feel like that's a common plant that people will have like massive ones, and then they'll end up, you know, it'll go to their children or their grandchildren or whatever. And it's so cool to see those really old giant ones. So can you imagine that, but a variegated one, like my variegated Thanksgiving cactus in like however many decades? Like that would just be so, so cool. Either that or a Hoya, like maybe my Hoya Crimson Queen. She's a big, sturdy woman. I feel like she would make a good heirloom plant as well. But I feel like the Thanksgiving cactus is just, that it would have to be that one. Next question. Do you have more Hoyas on your wish list? And if you do, which ones are they? I'm Hoya obsessed too. Also, absolutely love your YouTube content. I'm a stay-at-home mom with a toddler and started watching your channel during my pregnancy. Thank you so much for watching. I do, of course, have Hoya on my wish list because how could I not? And I actually ordered a wish list Hoya the other day. I did, because Crystal Star Nursery opened up their shipping for Canada again, so I did do that. And I actually got sent from somebody who, a viewer, a subscriber actually, she reached out to me on Instagram and wanted to send me a Hoya, and she ended up sending me several Hoya. I just unboxed them. I think I'm going to put that on my Patreon today, but I will show them to y'all, of course, soon as well. But that was kind of unexpected, and there's some amazing Hoya in there. So yeah, I'm very much just like in my Hoya era right now. I'm kind of obsessed. But my top wishlist Hoya, well, one of my top wishlist Hoya right now, where's my phone? Let me look in my little wishlist tab. The one that comes into my mind, which is probably like my top wishlist Hoya right now, is the Hoya Sulawesiana. That is the one that's on my official wishlist that I did at the end of last year, like my 2024 wishlist. So that one is one that I really want. I've also always really wanted the Pretorii. That's really hard to find in Canada. But there's also some more Hoya that I, of course, have been wanting. Oh yeah, Coriaceae silver. I really want the, what is this called again? Vanviagensis? Gosh, Hoya names are just like something else. Ooh, I also really want the Villosa or the Globulosa. What's the difference between those? I don't know. Globulosa? That one I'm obsessed with. Oh my gosh, I have so many Hoyas saved on my wishlist tab. Latifolia silver. Gorgeous, stunning. There was one that I saw the other day that I really want. Oh, I'm gonna have to find it so that I can put it on my wishlist tab so I don't forget about it. Oh yeah, Hoya lipolasia? Hypolasia, not lipo. Oh my gosh. Hoya hypolasia. Oh yeah, I really want that one. I love the leaves on this one. Oh my gosh. There's so many. Man, once you're down the Hoya hole, you're really down. So yes, to answer your question, I do have a lot of Hoya on my wish list still. There's probably so many more too. Like I'm always seeing Hoya that I'm just like, I mean, really, I don't need them. Like I truly don't. I have so many already, but I don't know. I just like kind of want to collect them all. Maybe I should set up like a, I kind of want to get another cabinet and make it a Hoya cabinet. Put it in like the bedroom or something. Do I need another cabinet? No, but here we are. Okay, Jose is all good in there. And now we just have to pot up the little Mathilde silver. Oh my gosh, speaking of wishlist Hoya, like I just can't get over that. It's so stunning. Goodness gracious. Thank you, Natasha. Planted in platinum. Go check her out. Go check her out, girls. Okay, next question is, what plants do you recommend to put outside? So I had quite a few plants outside last year, and I don't think I'll be doing that again this year. But the ones that I will be putting out are my cactus and succulents, because obviously they just thrive in all of that light. So I definitely recommend putting soil dust. So I definitely recommend putting those outside if you're able to. But the other type of plants that also did amazingly well outside were Hoyas. They loved it. Every Hoya I put outside was just living its best life. So if I was gonna put any plants outside again, it would probably be Hoyas. But yeah, that's just what I noticed. They did really, really well out there. Okay, there she is, all potted up in there. I'm gonna bring these two to the sink and give them a little water through now. Well, this one has no drainage, so not through, but I'm gonna moisten that one and water this one through. Okay, so now we are actually gonna be moving on to the biggest repot, and that is my Anthurium Crystal Meg Luxurians hybrid. I'm obsessed with this Anthurium. Y'all have seen it recently in my favorite plants, my top 11 favorite plants video. That was a few videos back, and it's just due for, oh my gosh, my throat's so dry from breathing in soil. But it's due for an up pot, and I'm really trying to be better at keeping on top of my Anthurium up pots, and I have been. I've actually been better at being on top of my repots in general lately. Like I didn't struggle to walk around and find plants to repot for this video, but I found that a lot of them like were good, and I was kind of surprised by that because normally it's the opposite. Normally I have a lot of plants, like I'm just really behind, so good for me. But yeah, Anthurium especially, just I really need to make an effort to stay on top of upsizing them. So I actually have this massive pot here that I'm going to be putting her into, so hopefully that will be fine. I feel like with Anthurium it's fine to do like a more dramatic upsize, so we're doing it. This is a 9-inch pot. This is from Houseplant Essentials. That's a comment I get all the time actually. Might as well just answer that, even though it's not in this set of questions, but I just get it as like a comment on my videos all the time. Houseplant Essentials Etsy, I'll link them. That's where I get my clear pots, and I think they're coming out with even bigger sizes soon too. If you're looking for like large clear pots, they're amazing. Speaking of links, I know that there's another question on this list about where I get my Planty t-shirts, my Planty apparel. And most of my t-shirts, including like this one that I'm wearing, are from tropicsnarcotics.com, so I'll link them down below. And I actually have a new discount code with them now, so it's just Wild Fern, which love it. Very simple, very easy. So you can save some money if you use that code. I will link it down below in the description. Go check out their website. Like if you haven't checked them out yet, all of their stuff is so amazing. Their artwork just blows my mind, honestly. Like I have so many shirts from them and they're just gorgeous. I also have shirts from Green Reaper Co. I'll link them down below as well. They have some really cool ones. And where else do I have stuff from? I think I might just have some other random ones as well. I'll have them all in the description so you can go check it out. I always try to link as much as possible in the description in all of my videos, like everything that I've used and stuff. So yeah, whenever you have a question, pop down there because you might be able to find what you're looking for. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm just releasing it from the supports that I have in here. Okay. I do really love using stakes. Oh my gosh, you can't even see me anymore. I do really love using stakes to keep my Anthurium leaves together because this plant would just take up such a large footprint if I wasn't doing that. So I do that with my Anthurium and my alocasia, and it's very, very helpful. Okay, so, I'm gonna take off the Rousseau pot extender. Because this is a deeper pot, so I don't think I'm gonna need it anymore for this particular plant. So I'm just gonna gently take it off. These are great for Anthurium. Okay, just pulling it out gently. You heading out, honey?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you. Okay, So she's pretty much ready to just be pulled out of here, and oh my gosh, I feel like you're not getting a very good view. Maybe I should do it this way. Duh. Oh, now it's hitting my Hoya. Oh my gosh. I knew this one was gonna be a little bit more challenging than the others. Okay, it's like bouncing on my matcha cup now. Okay, so I am gonna, oh yeah, we're using my mollies. I'm gonna fill the bottom up with some mollies. I'm just gonna put it over my shoulder to support the petioles. Very professional. And I'm just gonna try to loosen it here. Oh, okay, there she comes, there she comes. Okay. Oh, she's gonna love this upsize. Oh my gosh, maybe I should have left the pot extender on. Dang. Okay, I might end up putting the pot extender back on because now that there's soil on the bottom, and I want there to be some on the bottom so that she can grow her roots down into there. But honestly, she could still use a, well, she might not need one right now, but she is gonna need one probably within the next few months. But she's probably gonna be good for now, actually. Okay, so she's in there. I like to save this mix because this has the really nice chunky perlite. Okay, so the next question is, since you recently upsized your Hoya multiflora, could you tell us how you did it? As in, did you chop the roots that had outgrown the pot, or did you cut the pot instead? I'm really interested in how people upsize when there are so many roots sitting in the reservoir with pon. So I actually looked back on my footage of when I repotted this. I think I did it for a Patreon video. I had like a whole like pon themed video on there where I did all my pon repots and stuff. And I'll pop that section in here, but I ended up cutting off some of the roots that wouldn't pull through. Some of the smaller ones will just pull through, but then some of them are just too thick and like all gnarled together and stuff that you are better off just cutting them. So I just cut them off, and honestly the plant's fine. Like it didn't miss a beat. It's still been growing like crazy, and it's completely adjusted to its up pot. So I don't worry too much about that. Like I usually do have to cut some roots off, or I lose some roots when I do up pots with my semihydro. Especially when they're in like those net pots, and it wasn't really too much of a problem. So yeah, I hope that that is helpful. Okay, so the next question is about moss poles, and it's about letting them dry out too much. So if you accidentally let them dry out several times and they have roots in them, can you still water them? Will everything come back, or is it basically just a structure to keep your plants upright at that point? So that's asking for a friend. So once the roots have dried out and like shriveled up and basically like essentially have like dry rotted, they're not functional anymore. They are resilient like they can tolerate some drying out. So, you know, you can try to just water again and see if they're still fine. But if it's a chronic thing where your pole is just left way too dry, which I've definitely done. I used to always like, my poles were always used to be like that, but now that I use the Rousseau poles, it's a lot better. But yeah, at that point, your pole is basically just a structure that's holding up your plant. If the roots aren't alive, then they're not drawing in nutrients. You can't use them for like propagation or chopping and propping or anything. Like they will just be dead, and your plant will just be like hanging on there. So that's why it's so important to keep up with keeping our moss poles moist. It's the same as if you let a pot get bone dry and the roots died in there. Like the plant would not be happy about that. So yeah, just try to keep up with watering them as much as you can. Okay, you guys, I'm putting the stakes back in because she is so crazy and floppy. Okay. The next question is, I want to get into thriller books. What books would you recommend? Well, my friend, you've come to the right place. So my favorite thriller author is Riley Sager, and I think that his best thriller, well, my favorite of his, is The Only One Left. It has stormy cliffside gothic mansion vibes of the creepy old lady and a murder that's taken place. It's very, very good. I've talked about it before, so I'm not gonna go into it too much, but that is one of my all-time favorite thrillers. Love it so much. I actually have it right here. This one, you need to read this one. I love Riley Sager in general though. My second favorite from him is Lock Every Door, which is like a creepy apartment kind of vibe, and the twist is so crazy in that one. I love that one so much. So I definitely recommend it. Another thriller that I really loved is The Only One Left, or sorry, I just said that, A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham. I really enjoyed that one. And also All Good People Here by Ashley Flowers. I think that those two, Flicker in the Dark and All Good People Here by Ashley Flowers, almost have a similar vibe, if I remember correctly. Like they're both kind of like small town creepy vibes trying to like solve something. Another one that I love that honestly is partially responsible for getting me back into reading because I was so shook by it is Verity by Colleen Hoover. People have their opinions on Colleen Hoover and that's fine. I'm not really a big reader of her romance, but this thriller that she did, Verity, oh my goodness, it is so good. I will warn you that it is spicy, so if you don't like spicy scenes in books, maybe skip this one. But it is so good. Oh my gosh. Like the tension, the mystery, it's creepy. Like it's so creepy and it's just like, oh my gosh, I ate that one up. Yeah, those are some of my favorites. I love thrillers so much. So if you have any recommendations, leave them down in the comments. We can all check them out, especially me because I really just love finding new thrillers to read. Okay, next question. Wondering what happened to your canopy bed frame that you had in your apartment? More space for plants in the bedroom. The canopy bed frame, I still have it. It's actually downstairs. It all like taken apart in pieces. And the reason that we are not using it is because, well, I mean, plants aside, that bed frame is just a little bit annoying for two people. Like it's just a cheap bed frame from Amazon. It's kind of rickety and yeah, it's just, for the two of us, is probably just not the best option in general. But the main reason that I didn't want to use it is because we don't have any light in the bedroom for plants. So I wouldn't be able to hang plants on there anyways. All of my plants in the bedroom, well, that's not true. I have some of them in front of the sliding door, but the only window in our bedroom is facing a covered deck. So it hardly gets any direct sun or anything like that. So the rest of the bedroom surely doesn't get a lot of light. So there's just, I wouldn't be able to have plants on it anyways. So it just would kind of defeat the purpose. Okay, is that good or is that, I feel like I kind of want that in a little bit more, but well, I think that's gonna have to be good for now. I do kind of want it in a bit more though. Actually, I'm gonna move this. Oh gosh. But yeah, that's why we didn't use that. Maybe I'll use it again one day. I don't know. Like I said, I still have it. The next question is, do you have any plants that get just the Canadian natural light, therefore do not rely on your grow lights, also in the winter time? Yes, actually a lot of my plants are not grown under grow lights. A lot of them are grown under grow lights, but a lot of them are also not grown under grow lights. Okay, here's the finished result of the Anthurium. It's so hard to get all of this plant in the frame, but she has had a big size upgrade and she's in Molly's and I'm sure that she's gonna love life. So hopefully she'll pop out another new leaf for me soon because I get so excited when she puts out a new leaf. Anyways, I'm gonna get her out of the way. She takes up so much space. The last one that I'm gonna do is gonna be my syngonium milk confetti. And I've saved this one for last because it's currently undergoing treatment for flat mites. It's not looking good these days, and that's because of the flat mites. And it also dries out too much. So I'm hoping that once I size this up, oh, I just knocked the pot off the table. I'm hoping that once I size this up, it's going to do a little bit better because it's not gonna have to deal with recovering from flat mites and drying out all the time. So yeah, and I did want to use Molly's for this one too, just to help it along even more. I think it'll appreciate that. Oh yeah, I was in the middle of answering a question. My plants that live in natural light. So all my plants in front of my windows just get natural light. It is south facing though, so it's like decent light, but I mean still in the winters when the days are so short and stuff, it's not great and it's like really gloomy. But all of these plants in front of both of my windows just get natural light. The plants, I mean, I don't think you can really see, well, maybe a little bit behind me on top of the cabinet and on the shelf by the window, those all just get natural light. My plants mounted on the Rousseau mounts on the wall just get natural light. Same with this shelf. Well, I just added that grow light recently, but most of the plants on here just get natural light from the window. I'm really lucky to have these big south facing windows here. They really are a fantastic light source. So I do have quite a few plants that just get natural light. Same with my begonias in the bedroom. And there's a couple plants in the office. And even some plants here, like on top of my Millsbow tall, that just get natural light as well. Anyways, long story short, yes, I do have a lot of plants that just get the Canadian natural light. And they seem to do okay. Okay, the next question I'm going to answer here to check in on Olive and Cadence. Thank you for asking about them. They are doing very well. Well, actually, Cadence has been sick lately, but she's doing better now. She's feeling a lot better, which is good. Yeah, I mean, Olive is doing great. Like, Olive's health is really good. She has been getting her teeth brushed every night. That's kind of what's new with her new little routine. So she's doing really well with it. And I'm pretty proud of myself for keeping up with it every night too. So that's been going good. Okay, it does have a lot of roots on the bottom. I'll show you. And yeah, Cadence is doing okay. She has some stomach issues and she's a very anxious dog. And I think that those are kind of like interrelated. Like when she gets anxious, often when we go out of town, she has bad separation anxiety, especially from my boyfriend. And she tends to get like her stomach flares up after that. So yeah, we're kind of just working with that and trying to make accommodations for her as she ages. And like I mentioned in some of my videos, she, you can often hear her like tippy tapping around because she has dementia. She's an older dog. She's a Weimaraner and she'll be turning 13 in July, which is quite old for her breed. So yeah, she has some dementia. She's also deaf. So she often, and she's a very anxious dog. Like I said, like honestly, she's quite neurotic. So she'll be like pacing around the house sometimes and barking sometimes, and I try to work around that as much as possible. But a lot of y'all have commented and said that it doesn't bother you when you can hear her in the background, so I really appreciate that. But yeah, they're doing well. And then they also asked, how do you choose the videos that you will create only for Patreon subscribers and those you will post publicly on your channel? And that's a good question. So I guess there's a variety of different ways that I kind of choose what I'm gonna post there. Sometimes it's just random. Like sometimes I'm just like, this is one of the videos I'm gonna post for this month just because it's a video that I feel like making or posting on there. And it'll just be like, you know, just like kind of the videos you would see on here, like plant chores and stuff like that. But then I also do videos on Patreon that are a little bit more personal. So I'll often do like kind of like holiday specials, like on Halloween and Christmas. I did one for each of those where I kind of, it's just like more personal. Like you get to hang out with me and my boyfriend when we go out and do something. And just like, yeah, have like a little, I guess more of a glimpse into my personal life. So I'll do stuff like that on there. And other times it's what's voted by my patrons. Sometimes I'll do a poll, like for this month, April. I did the poll last month for what they wanted to see in April, and the videos got selected. So this month I'm posting a spring shopping vlog, like a Planty shopping vlog, which will be fun because I don't really do those on my channel. It's not really my thing, but it is fun to do every spring on Patreon. So I'm going to be posting that soon. And then I also am doing a Vancouver vlog when we went over to Vancouver and went to Noah Con. So that's going to be up later this month on my Patreon. So yeah, that's kind of how I choose them. A variety of different ways, I guess, if that's helpful to you. And I have like a set itinerary or schedule every month that I post at the beginning of the month so you can see what videos are upcoming. If you could have any unpopular, underrated, or uncommon plant, what would that be? So I'm interpreting that as if I could have basically any plant, what would it be? And there's one wish list plant. I call it my unattainable wish list plant that I've wanted for years and years. That I've just like, first of all, I never see them. and the ones that I have seen have just been like incredibly expensive. But it is the variegated philodendron hastatum, so variegated silver sword philodendron. I just think that those are so stunning. I love the silver sword philodendron, just like the regular one on its own. That was one of my like OG favorites, like top favorite of all time plants. I think that they're so pretty. Y'all know I love silver plants and I love philodendron, so I just love them. But there is a variegated version that's, like I said, it's not very common, but they are so gorgeous. Oh my goodness, if I could get my hands on one, oh, yeah, that would just be incredible. I actually did look on Etsy when I was compiling these questions just out of curiosity, and there is one, I think in the US, that's for sale right now for like $600 or something, and it looks so stunning. Like, thank goodness I don't live in the US because I would probably be tempted. Not gonna lie. Not that I've literally never spent that much on a plant, but I would pine for it for sure. There was like just enough potting mix for this plant. That's crazy. Like, fit like perfectly is enough. Alrighty then. Oh, she's gonna be happier in here, I hope. I hope. This is my syngonium milk confetti, if I didn't say so. It looks ugly right now, but I am envisioning the future for her. Hopefully she will look nice and overcome her flat mite situation. We do have some questions left, so I'm just gonna see if any of these I can answer really quickly. This one's about root mealies. I've noticed a few of my Hoyas have them. What do I do? After some research, a lot of people suggest just cutting them and rooting and starting over. That's what I did. I've only come across them once in my collection, and I removed the whole root system and I just re-rooted the plant, and it was perfectly fine after that. How did you train your crawler to climb? Literally all I did was give it a moss pole and it just went up. So I don't know if that was a fluke or if that's all I need to do again to make that happen, but I am gonna try to reproduce that. So it'll be experimental to find out if that's gonna work for me again. It seems that you don't let your cuttings dry out before putting them into water. I've always heard that it's almost a must to do so. So it's nice to see a different way to do things. Have you had any problems? In my country, water is very clean and drinkable, so water would not be the problem. Yeah, I literally never let my cuttings, what's the word for that? Callus. I don't do that. I just put them in all juicy and everything. I mean, cactus and succulents are the exception, but for anything else, like I don't really, sometimes like if I'm doing other things and I have like my Hoya that are like oozing everywhere or something, I'll let them kind of chill for a little bit and then I'll pot them up, but I don't purposely let anything dry out before I put them in water or anything else. I've never had any problems with that, so I don't worry about that, and it's honestly been fine. Oh my gosh, there's still some good questions left, but I think that we need to wrap it up because there's so many more I could answer. But maybe I'll save those for another video or for my next Q&A or something. Maybe I'll just like answer them in we actually have a Hoya repot coming up later this month, so maybe I'll answer the rest of the questions in that video if you would like me to. There's maybe like 6 or 7 questions left. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this Q&A. I hope that y'all enjoyed hanging out. Like I said, I really love making these videos, and it's nice to, you know, get some of my plants potted up and everything. Thank you so much again to Peak for sponsoring today's video. If you would like to try out Peak's Matcha, they're offering up to 15% off plus a free rechargeable frother and a free cup if you shop through my link down below in the description box. Highly recommend. Thank you so much to them. And I think that that's it. Leave me a comment down below. I would love to chat with you. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. I really appreciate that. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.